So we'll just try to read and make sense of the text, but we'll read the end, the Ovāda-pāṭimokkha verses in detail. So what we found out is that Magha Puja is a relatively new tradition that King Bongkut instituted it in 1851, and then this is when it became a popular ceremony that people would observe. So before that, probably there would be ceremonies of local communities sometimes, because it's a full moon day and there might be different things in different areas. But as this big festival day, it started relatively recently. And the interesting thing I found out trying to locate the origin story is that the popular version we tell is invented from 3 different places. Is that so the way we tell it is that on the full moon of Magha Puja, there is a spontaneous gathering of 1,250 arahants, and the Buddha recites the Ovāda-pāṭimokkha. And these things all happen, just not at the same time and place. And so there's it's very nice actually to read the different events, because the circumstances are quite good too. So the first one is from the Majjhima Nikāya 74 commentary. This is the Dīghanakhasutta, where and after the commentary goes through explaining the different factors in the sutta, and after finishing the explanation of the terms in the sutta, then this last paragraph in the sutta is about Bhagavā pana inang desanang surye dharamane yeva nittapetava gijjakūtauruya biluvanangantava sāvaka sannipātangakāsi. So the blessed one pana imang desanang surya. So the nittapetava will be the verb. Is finished, isn't it? So concludes, or having finished, having concluded the desana. Like he concludes the teaching. This imang desanam, this teaching. Who is concluding the? Please come in. Come in.
Sorry.
No worries. Please take a seat. You have the paper.
Pick it up.
Don't worry. We're just getting started. So the Bhagava, the blessed one, is he's taking the action, and the Surya is locative for
The sun.
during the day by the sun. So Surya is the sun. So while the sun is still lasting, while the sun is still dharamana yeva. So here, that's right, you recognize the compound there. So after he finishes the teaching, Gijjakuta Oruya Viluvanangantava Sāvaka Sannipātam Akāsi. And so the verb will be at the end, Akāsi. Which is happened, no?
No, he did.
He did.
He called Akāsi is from having done the Sāvaka Sannipātam Akāsi. So it's like he held. We would say in English he held the gathering of the disciples, but they say he made it happen.
I would have taken it that way, but apparently the gathering, this is the spontaneous gathering. So it would be more natural for me to read it like that. The a gathering happened. There was a gathering, and he came down to see that. So okay, so leave that hanging.
Yeah,
but
does
so
the action, yeah.
but so Gijakuta is ablative. So from the virtue speak, Oruya is descending, which is a gerundive form here. So descending from the virtue speak, having gone to Veluvana, and then you have the Savaka, the disciple gathering happened or did. Like Sandipata is gathering. So there was a gathering of disciples. And the commentary is explaining that this gathering had 4 factors. You might remember recognize from the when we read the Bojjhangas, that Bodhi Anga, like enlightenment factors, and so Anga here is the same word, that there are 4 Chatura, 4 factor gathering. 4 factor Samanagato is possessing.
Yes, the Sanipato is the gathering which is endowed with or possessing the 4 angas, the 4 factors.
That's right. So the gathering.
And the gathering was Ahosi.
So the gathering was Sandipato Ahosi, and what was what kind of gathering it was? It was Chaturanga Samanagato, right? Yeah. Okay.
You can see the Sanipato, so it must be Samanagato. The ending is the same.
That's right. The dominative endings. So Tatrimani Angani, these factors, these points. And the commentary will explain us the 4 points. Would you like to read them?
Okay. Dīghanakhasutta yukto punnama uposathas. So it's the so Punnama means the full moon. They also call it the Magha Punnami, or that's the Pāli word for full moon. Yeah, full moon. Uposatha Divasa is the Uposatha day. Divasa is the day. And Dīghanakhasutta yukto. So yukto is like connected with, or yeah, I'm not sure how it fits in here. Yukto, and it's the Nakata is the stars, the constellations.
That's right, the months or the periods.
Yeah, of the month of Magha. So
that's instrumental here.
Yeah, that's right.
So connected with the period of Magha.
With the period of Magha.
The full moon. There it was the full moon day.
The full moon day that was connected with that. Yeah. I think that's how they could tell the time. That's why it says Dīghanakhasutta yukto. How do you tell that this full moon is this particular one of Magha? Well, you look at the sky and you see the stars aligned in a particular way. So that's the meaning of the Nakhata. When we say the Sunakhatang Sumangalam, that's what it refers to, the lucky stars.
So the full moon is in Magha, like which area of the sky.
Yeah, that's right.
Which area of the sky you can see the full moon.
So that's how they would tell the time. And then number 2 is Kenachi ana mantitani utva attanoyeva dhammataya sannipatitani adhattela satani bikusatani. So that's quite a...
So Hutava is the...
So first is, yeah, exactly. So having been, they, like...
so Hutava from Hoti.
From Hoti, yeah. But it's like having been Kenachi anna mantitani. By somebody, Kenachi, through somebody, but it'll be the meaning nobody. Because it's a negative verb. Anna mantitani. Amantita means to be invited. Anamantita means not to be invited. And they are anamantitani, the plural, it's a plural. They, meaning all those arahants, they were not invited by nobody, kenachi.
That's right.
Through somebody, but here it means nobody.
Yeah, that's right.
So having not been invited by anybody, attano eva dhammataya, so through their own nature, you would say. Attano is
So attano is
of their own, their self, you know. Attano eva dhammataya, through their own dhammata. Dhammata means your nature, somebody's nature. Sanipatitani, so they were gathered. Sanipatitani, meaning plural.
So this is the spontaneous part, no?
That's the spontaneous part.
On their own.
Exactly, on their own, you could say. Yeah, spontaneously. So they are sanipatitani, so that's the plural. They are gathered. You know, sanipatita means gathered, and sanipatitani is the plural. They are gathered through their own nature. And then comes the number. So this is the numbers in Pāli is complicated. So you start with the bhikkhu satani. So they are the hundreds of bhikkhus. So sata is 100. Bhikkhu satani are hundreds bhikkhus. And then the number is before that. Adhatela san. So adha is half, isn't it? Tela. Yeah, the numbers I don't remember by heart.
So that's 12 and a half.
Yeah, okay.
12 and a half.
Oh, so it's adha terasa.
Adha telasa.
Because telasa can be also terasa sometimes spelled. So you recognize maybe some of the numbers like from the Pāṭimokkha.
Adha telasa.
Adha is half, and then you have the number. So you have 10 dasa, then you have ekadasa, and then you have dvadasa, terasa, and so on.
So they say 12 and a half hundred.
That's right. Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Number 3. Tesu ekopi puthujano va sotapanasa karagami anagami.
Among them.
So tesu, that's right. Tesu is a locative. Among them. Ekopi is even one. Eko api. One, eko, pi. Even one. And then the verb, have to look at the end. Nati. So there isn't. So there isn't even one of them, among them, tesu, who is now either Puthujana or Sotapannasakaragami Anagami or Sukha Vipassaka Arahant, so the Arahant with dry insight. Anyataro nati, so there isn't one of them. Anyataro means like one of them, not even one of them is like that.
So it can be like, so anyataro can be either one of them.
Yeah, anyataro bhikkhu is often like one. A certain bhikkhu. Yeah, one.
Like it feels usually these kind of meanings.
Yeah. So not even one of them. Eko pi. Among them, tesu means the plural of.
Among them, tesu.
Yeah. So the normally it's te. Te means they. But here it's among them, so it's a locative, so it becomes tesu.
In them.
Yeah, in them, among them. So we would say among them.
In English, that's so.
And there isn't, not he, even one of them who is, and now it comes. Puthujano, it could be, if you break it down, it could be Puthujano, Sotapanno, Sakaragami, Anagami, but in Pali, if you have very long lists, then they kind of connect the words into one. So it's like a long compound instead.
That's right, and this Sukha Vipassaka is commentary or invention, no?
Dry insight arahant, yes.
Is the dry insight arahant, and
yeah.
Their idea is that there are arahants who are panya vimutti, and some of them, this is an explanation only in the commentaries is that some of the Paññavimukti arahants are either attaining their arahantship when they emerge from the jhanas, or they attain it without the jhanas. And this is what Karen Arbol disproves in her book, in the early Buddhist meditation, is that she tries to find any justification in the canonical text that there could be an arahant who enlightened through wisdom, but completely unconnected to the jhanas. And the way she concludes that the reason why there might have become this distinction is because in Buddhaghosa's Visuddhimagga, he lumped the attainments of the samapatti into the term jhana, right? And so it is basically so some of these don't have this attainment, but it doesn't mean that they don't have the jhanas as in the canonical definition of samadhi. So that's.
And instead it says sabbe chalavijñāva. So all of them, sabbe.
Locative.
Sabbe is again. No, I think it's actually this is I think nominative because all are. This is like another sentence now.
Yes, so that's
among them there is no one of these, but all of them sabbe are those who have the 6 direct knowledges or super knowledges. So cha abhinya iva, I think that's what it's means those who
have the 6
higher
knowledges. That's right.
Abhinya. So that means all the psychic powers, but the main one is the asavakayajnana, knowledge of ending of the
asa of the effluence or inflows or
So yeah, that's the definition of the arahants, who basically having all these extra powers.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I still don't have those extra powers.
Okay.
To help.
Desu ekopi.
Ekopi.
Okay, we mentioned it. Eko api, even one.
Even one.
Because it's in a negative, so it's not even one. Ekopi.
So eko apinati. You have to connect it to the end. Eko apinati. So eko one as well. There isn't. Or in English you would say there isn't even one.
There isn't even one.
That's right. And the 4th factor is about that again they are nati. So eko picheta sattakena kese chinditavapa bhajito nama nati. So they have. So there isn't one who have their head, their hair shaved chinditava by the hand of another monk.
Well, sattakena kese chinditava. Yeah, I was wondering how it means. Yeah, I think it just means they haven't had their head shaved with a sharp razor, with a satta is a weapon.
Yes,
but it can be a razor.
I think the meaning here is that in the ordination, one of during the pabaja, during the pabaja rupa sampada, one of the other monks would be shaving their heads, and so this is sattakena by hand. Would be shaving them by hand, and he is saying here that none of them were shaved by another, and because they are all ehibhikkhu, like they were all
just
called by the Buddha ehibhikkhu, and so they didn't go through that sort of upasampada ceremony with shaving their head.
So maybe they were ordained with long hair.
Could be, yes.
They only shaved afterwards. There's a chance for you. Okay,
so that's quite good.
But the way it's constructed, so pabbajito namanati. So this is a kind of construction. The nama means pabbajito namanati. So The nama is often means name, but it's a kind of construction that always happens like you're defining some term. What does this term mean? So here in this case, it's the Pabajito nama. Somebody called 1/4. 1/4. Called nama. One who has that name. It's indeclinable. It always like behind some word, and then it's defined what it means. So ekopi che eta means again here, eta in this case.
Cha eta.
Cha eta means here in this case. Cha eta. And it's the same construction again with the ekopi nati. So there isn't one.
Yes, they are all ehi bhikkhu. Ehi bhikkhuno ya. Ehi bhikkhuni eva. Okay, big compounder.
Yeah, ehi bhikkhuno yevati, evati. The year is just inserted. Sabbe ehi bhikkhuno yevati. So that defines the name. They are called ehi bhikkhus. So all of them sabbe. And now the ti is the end of the quote. So the quote would begin with this ehi. So if you put the inverted commas, they would be around here. Ehi bhikkhuno. So eva means just ehi bhikkhuno or ehi bhikkhuno yevati is the same thing. They are called
So
just
ehi,
the
ehi bhikkhuno
and then it's eva, but it becomes eva.
eva.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the
Kambikus, they are called the bhikkhus who have come.
yeah, very good. I think we can do the next one.
That's a good one.
So the next one was so in this case, this is coming from the commentary to the Dhammapada verses that we recite Sabopāpasa Akaranam. And in this case, there is the verses of the Ovāda-pāṭimokkha. The Buddha recites those verses. But there isn't a gathering of large arahants. It's the Venerable Ananda is asking this question from the Buddha. Is that so in the commentary it highlights what is it that it's going to explain. So it explains the word Sabopāpasa Akarananti. Yeah. And then the rest of it is the explanation to that term.
Right.
Imam Dhamma Desanang Satta Jetavane Viharanto. So this Dhamma teaching, the teacher, so Satta at Jetavane, by living at Jetavane, he is to Anandatirasa, so dative. So he is Anandatirasa Panyam Arabha Katesi. So Katesi is from what is it?
Past.
Kateti. Kateti. It's always past tense of told or taught.
He taught. Katha.
Told.
Like when we say Dhammakatha.
Taught, that's right.
The Dhamma talk.
The Dhamma talk. And so Arabha means concerning something.
Yeah, referring to.
So referring to what? Referring to the question. And okay, then this is not
it's a genitive.
It's a genitive, not a dative, because then it means that whose question? Anandatirasa. Anandatira's question. And the Katesi is
he taught.
And that's right, Satta Katesi.
He taught.
Someone else read. Ajahn Titapanyo, can I ask you to continue reading?
Next sentence?
Yes, please.
Okay. tero kira diwatane nisino chitesi.
Do you recognize something there?
Sitting there, nisino, like seated, he thought.
That's right. Chintesi is he thought while
He
he
thought.
meditated.
I see he was in his meditation place for the day, seated there, and he thought maybe the Tara was in his meditation place for the day, and he thought, and then the next sentence. I'm not sure what Kira is.
It's just an emphatic.
Okay.
Indeed, he was in his meditation place, or he really was there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Translated the next sentence for us. So Anandatira was in his meditation place, or wherever he was usually sitting during the day, and he thought the following. Uposato pana akatito Dīghanakhasutta te sampi ayamiva uposato anyoti. So this is the end of his question, and what I got out here from the beginning is that he says that he has already asked various qualities of the past Buddhas, like what was their birth, who were their disciples, what were the powers of those disciples, but we have not asked about the uposathas of the past Buddhas. And so he says uposato pana akatito, that the uposatha is not asked.
It's not being told, it's not being talked
It's
about.
not being taught, right?
To teach, but also to talk about, to mention.
It's not being explained. And so, Dīghanakhasutta te sampi ayamiva uposato. Ayam eva it's. So ayam eva, meaning here like this. Or well, the other way around. So eva is like, and ayam is this. And so he asks that were there uposathas, was the uposatha like this, or it was different? Anyo is other or different, that's right.
Was it this uposatha or another one?
Yes, meaning that did they hold the uposathas like we do, or did they have a different one?
Yeah, right. Yeah. For them, te sampi means like for them. There's a plural. Te sang api. Te sang api is like kind of a Dīghanakhasutta again is the beginning of a question. Like he's asking this question Dīghanakhasutta, and then te sampi for them in their case, meaning to those previous Buddhas. For them also api. This is the uposatha or another one.
Ajahn Kongrit, can I ask you to read the next sentence, please?
Sattarang upasangamitva tamattang pucci.
Thank you. Do you recognize the verb here? What is the action?
I would say pucci.
Pucci? Pucci for... Do you recognize what the verb is?
But I don't know the meaning.
Pucchati for ask. So he says, so sattaram upasankamitava. So here is Venerable Ananda. So he, to the teacher, he approached the teacher. And tang attang pucci. Pucci is from pucchati, to ask. And he asks something from somebody.
he asked about that meaning or that matter.
That's right.
Atha can be meaning, or can be the thing, the matter.
Tongue is the pronoun that says it or that, like that. That points to the question. And atta is the meaning or the issue or the point. Right. So that matter he asked.
So it takes an accusative. So he asked that about that matter, tang atang. So it is an accusative ending.
That's right. It's the pucci tamattang.
And sattha is don't mix it up. We had in the previous sentence, we have the word sattha, which means weapon or knife or something. But this is sattha with a long a. Yeah, sattha. Sattha deva manusanam, yeah, that means teacher or master. And then it has this form sattarang upasankamittva. So he approached him, the teacher. So it takes that ending ram, sattha. There has to be an R basically inserted there.
I'm just thinking, could sattarang be connected to the pucci, connected to the asked? And then he says, so him having approached the teacher about this matter asked.
So I think it's the same. It's also like you go there. It's directed towards the teacher. Both the going and the asking is both directed at the teacher.
Okay, so it can be both.
I think it's both.
So
you first approach him and then you ask him.
So sattarang pucci.
Yeah.
So pucchati is what's called detransitive. So it takes two objects. You ask something from somebody.
Right.
But both are accusative.
That's right.
Ricardo, can I ask you to read the next sentence?
Yasama pana tesang buddhanam kalabedoa ahosi na katabedo.
Thank you. What is the verb here? Do you recognize?
Ahosi.
Ahosi, and it means?
To be the word.
So something was or something were. So yasama panatesam. So to break up these, so this is kala beda and kata beda. Beda is a break or a difference. A break or a difference, and kala is obviously time. So he says kala bedova, where at the end you recognize eva. Kala beda eva. There was a time difference.
Just the time difference.
But not teaching difference. Kata is teaching or exhortation.
Yeah.
Right. There was no teaching difference. And so he goes on.
And it refers to Panate Sambuddhanam, of those Buddhas, among those Buddhas. And yasma, I don't know how to translate it in this case, maybe since among those Buddhas there was only a time difference but not a teaching difference. And then it continues on.
No, that's right. So the explanation is that the different Buddhas have held the uposatha in different periods.
Different times, yeah.
Venerable Attanyu, can you read the next sentence, please?
Vipassī Sammā Sambuddho satame sangwache uposatang akasi.
What is the verb and who is doing it?
So I believe it's akasi, so which is did.
Who is doing the something?
the Buddha Vipassī.
Correct. So Vipassī Sammasambuddho. And what is he doing?
So Satta means 7, yes.
So that will be, that's right, Satta 7.
And so somewhat, what shall we?
So he does the uposatha.
Yes,
Akati refers to the uposatha. And Samvatsara is a year, is the time period. And so in Sattame is meaning every 7 year. 7.
Is it locative, right?
Yeah,
Sattame Samvatsara, that's right.
every 7 years. Yeah.
Every 7 year he did uposatha.
Yeah.
The Eka Divasang Dinno Vado Yeva Hissa Sattandang Samvatcharanang Alang Hoti. So it was, so Alang is enough or sufficient. So indeclinable, isn't it? And so it means Sattanang Samvatcharanang 7 years was enough. In that time, Eka Divasam,
1 day.
they were.
Dinna Ovāda eva.
Yes, how do you break up that?
Dinna Ovāda eva. So it must be the given Dhamma talk. Ekadivasam Dinna Ovāda eva. I'm not sure how to break it up. Maybe it's. So the Dhamma talk Dinno means given from deity.
So Dinna Ovāda Eva? Like you see the dictionary there?
Yeah, exactly.
Dinna Ovāda Eva, no?
Yeah. But it was done in 1 day, Ekadivasam, I guess, or maybe it could be a Dhamma talk that was in 1 day given or something. I'm not sure if you can use the word give in Pāli like in English, maybe you can. I'm not familiar with this. Didn't know
so that, basically he's explaining that in that time the 7 years was deemed sufficient. It was enough, Alang Hoti.
For one.
And then he gives the time for the other Buddhas, the Sikhi, Vesabu, Kakusando, Kunagavano, Kassapa, Dasabalo, where Dasabala is 10 power, so it's 10 power Kassapala, Kassapa, and the time difference goes down, so it goes down every 1 year, every 6 months. And so I think that Kassapa's time, it goes down to every month or every 6 months.
Okay.
Kassapa Dasabalu chatte mase. So he till that in his period every 6 months.
Okay.
And then he explains that tasama satta tesang imam kala vedang arochitava. So the teacher, this time difference having declared, so he declares that this was the time difference. Ovāda-pāṭimokkha imāye vāti vatavā, that their Ovāda was like this. This is ima eva,
eva.
that their Ovadas were not different.
Yeah.
So he says time difference, he explained. Their Ovada, their instruction was just like this, just like theirs.
Nesang is of them, like there's plural. Their Ovāda-pāṭimokkha, their teaching verses were just like these.
That's right. So
it's a plural.
So he says their Ovadas were different. Vatava from Vachati.
Yeah.
Sabbesang ekameva uposatam avikaranto, where this is sometimes spelled together. So having explained, having revealed, avikaranto is revealed or declared or made known. Imagata abasi. So the Buddha Satta is recites these verses. He spoke these verses, and then the Dhammapada verses follow from Sabapāpassa Karanankusala Supasampada.
Okay, so there it starts with Sabapāpassa.
That's right. So the difference in order is whether we'll see the other order in Dīghanakhasutta 14.
Right.
So the difference when people quote it in whether starting from Kanti Paramang or Sabapāpassa Karanang, whether they are quoting from this commentary or they are quoting from Dīghanakhasutta.
Right.
But otherwise it's the same verses. Okay, so let's continue to the teaching of Buddha Vipassī.
Who is the Buddha Vipassī? No, I'm getting just...
Buddha Vipassī was one of the previous ones. It's often many of the stories in the suttas that we assume are about Buddha Gautama. In fact, when you look in the suttas, like the going out of the town, seeing the 4 sites, being moved to ordain and leave the palace, that's actually the story that's told about Buddha Vipassī. But then it gets kind of copied and applied to Buddha Gautama for some reason. In the Dīghanakhasutta you find that. So yeah.
Do you remember the chanting we do for paying respects to the Buddhas? Buddhas Vipassī Sanamanta Chakumanta Sasrimato, like that starts with.
Yeah, this was the order as well.
That's right. That's right. These are the.
It's just the 7 that are mentioned in the Pāli canon. I mean, in the suttas, early suttas.
So let's read this part. So this is a fairly long sutta, and we're picking up the text from a section where the Buddha Vipassī sees that there are many arahant bhikkhus in the sangha, there are many monks, and he sends them off to wander into the countryside. And then he tells them that go off, wander in the countryside, and there's an arrangement that after 6 years we all come back and he's going to recite the Ovāda-pāṭimokkha.
6 years.
So in this case we don't have the number of the 12,500, but there are arahant disciples, and the meeting is arranged, and the Ovāda-pāṭimokkha is recited.
Okay.
So let's read this part. Ajahn Kongrit, can I ask you to read until Amantesi?
Amantesi. Attako Bhikkhave Vipassī Bhagavā Arahang Samma Sambuddho Sayan Ha Samayang Patisallana Vuttito Bhikkhu Amantesi.
Thank you. So the verb here, do you recognize?
Amantesi.
Amantesi. And do you remember what it means?
Amantesi. Bhikkhu Amantesi. No, cannot. Familiar.
So to the bhikkhus, he addresses the bhikkhus.
Great.
it's another way to say them. He tells the bhikkhus, or he addressed the bhikkhus. Bhikkhu amantesi. So, and then bhikkhus, the Blessed One Vipassī, who is an arahant, who is a perfectly enlightened Buddha, sayana samayam. So in the morning.
Samaya is the time of day, and Sayana is the morning time.
So the morning time. So patisallana vuttito.
Yeah.
Ajahn Titapanya, do you remember this phrase?
Arose from seclusion.
Oh, very good, thank you. we saw this phrase in the Bojjhanga Suttas, no?
Yeah.
When one of them arising from seclusion, he goes to visit someone else. So patisallana vuttito, from arising from having arisen from seclusion. Address the bhikkhus. Idamayang bhikkave rahogatassa patissallinassa evang cetaso parivitakko udapadi. So just now, because I was in seclusion and solitude, and this thought arose for me.
Cetaso parivitako. It's like the thought. The parivitaka is just the same as vitaka. It's just some kind of thought, idea, but which is often used in this compound. Cetaso parivitako. So it's like the thought of the mind. A thought in my mind arose.
A mental thought,
yeah,
which is like the same meaning, but it's like an idiom, no?
It's an idiom, but also an idiom is like, how do you say in Pali, I just had this thought? You don't say it like that. If you try to construct a sentence, then nobody will understand you. So here it says like the thought, udapadi, so the thought is the agent. So this parivitaka arose, and to whom or how is rahogatassa patisallinasa, to somebody who is rahogata, meaning gone to seclusion.
The deities, no?
Yeah, and patisallina, and who is secluded. So that's a dative, to him, for him.
So there is he is talking about himself.
But because it's preceded
so
with
it's
aham, yeah.
The implied
is me, yeah.
person is the ahang rahogatassa patissallinassa.
That's the idhamayhang bhikkhave.
That's correct.
That's what it is.
That's right. I see. So to me, this thought arose.
Yeah.
Mahāko etarahi bhikkhu sangho, and then he tells a lot of things about the bhikkhus, but his meaning is that etarahi is now, just an indeclinable meaning that now at the present time, the bhikkhu sangho is great.
Okay.
Is large.
Yes.
And he has this idea that he's going to let them wander forth. Then we're cutting out a section where this is repeated a few times, and then when he actually tells the bhikkhus is where we continue. Ajahn Titapanya, can you read it, please, until agamitta.
Okay. Anujanami bhikkhave charata charikam bahujana hitaya bahujana sukaya loka nukampaya attaya hitaya sukaya dewa manusanang ma ekena dve agamita.
Thank you. So he starts with the instruction, I allow, anujanami, I give you permission, which in Sutta idiom means you better do it. This is what you should do.
But it's the way in the Vinaya how every rule is preceded with this anujanami. I allow you.
That's right.
Laying down the
if,
rule.
yes, but usually it means the Buddha tells the bhikkhus, this is what you should do.
Right. Yeah.
Anujanami bhikkhave, so addressing the bhikkhu, I allow you bhikkhu to go on charika, charata, charikam.
So
Where charata is from, is the imperative of charati.
Yes, plural.
That you should go on charika, you should walk a walk.
That's what
you should walk a journey.
Charika.
Then bahujana is bahu is many.
For the many folk. For the
So
many folk is an old folk. That's right, many folk. Benefit.
For the benefit of many folk.
Yeah. For
the happiness of the many folk, out of compassion to the world. Lokanu anukampaya. Ataya hitaya sukaya diva manussanang. So for the long-lasting benefit of men and deities, or
deities,
yes.
Deva manussanang. Deities and men, yes.
Then he tells them you should go in every possible direction. So agamita.
Ma agamita, don't go. This is the way to say don't do something. It's just strange for us, but it's actually the past. Yes, ma agamita is actually the past tense agamita, but it's, if you say as a command, it means don't go. Ma agamita is maybe you should break it up in the other program. It's just a way to say, to give a command in this way. But agamita normally would look like the past tense. It's a plural, but that's just the way you give a command to somebody. Don't go. It means don't go. Ma agamita. Yeah. Agamita. You went, yeah.
So from Gam,
go,
Gam, itta.
Agami.
It's what you expect. Agamitta.
So
you, in this case, it's plural second in aorist.
Exactly. It's just a kind of stock phrase to say something. Don't do this.
And
that's, but I mean, you don't have to remember it in the meaning. It just means the way to say it's a command. Don't go.
Agamita.
But it's actually constructed.
So ma agamita, don't go, and how you should not go?
Ekena dve. So two of you, and then again there is nothing but ekena. Dve ekena means two through, or by one, meaning by one way. So don't go, two of you by one way.
So the way you can translate this is that no two people should take the same path. Right?
It just says scatter. You could say in English, just scatter. Yes, two people by one path.
So no two should go by one path.
By one path,
Right? Then he gives them the instruction to teach the Dhamma. Desita bhikkave dhammang adi kalyanang majje kalyanang pariyosana kalyanang satang sabayanjanang kevala paripunnang parisuddhing brahmacharyang pakasita. This might ring a bell from the the warning chanting, that's right.
That's where it's taken from. Yeah.
And so bhikkhus teach the... We'll speed up a little bit so we have time for the Ovāda-pāṭimokkha. So desita bhikkave teach, bhikkhus teach the Dhamma. That is beautiful in the beginning, that's right, beautiful in the middle, beautiful in the end. And so santi satta aparajakkhajatika.
Yes.
So santi here is not peace, but is the verb there are.
Yeah.
You know, it's a irregular form.
They are the beings. Satta means the beings.
The
beings.
Plural. That's right.
So it's a plural form.
It's about the Satta, Santi Satta. There are beings. They are beings who are.
Who are exactly. Aparajita Jadika. So you have broken it up here somewhere. You dust in their eyes. Raja.
So Raja is dust.
Dust. Yes.
Akka is eye.
Yeah.
Jatika.
Jatika doesn't mean born, or it seems like it's from born, but that is where it's from, Jato, Jati, but it just means in some context it can just mean having the characteristic of something. They are like this.
So these beings have little dust. Appa is little dust, eye.
In their eyes, yeah.
Right? And they are.
Okay.
They are declining or wasting away from not hearing the Dhamma.
That's right.
Asavanata Dhammassa. So
they are declining from the not hearing, asavanata.
That's right. That's ablative.
Yeah, it goes like that. Asavanata means it's an abstract noun of savati means to listen. Asavati would be not to listen, and asavanata is the quality of not listening. And what? Asavanata dhammasa, so they are not listening to the Dhamma. But it's actually a genitive, right?
So the genitive,
or
dative, no?
Dative.
To the Dhamma.
I guess I'm not sure how it's constructed. Asavanata dhammasa.
So they're not listening of the Dhamma.
Again, it's kind of mixed in Pāli, it's the same.
Okay.
Genitive or dative.
But asavanata refers to the Dhammassa.
Yeah.
And then
they
are declining from the fact of not hearing the Dhamma.
Yeah.
Declining.
Declining, that's right. Bhavisanti is from Bhava, there will be. Bhavisanti in the future, there will be some. And so Anyataro here means
Anyataro.
Certain people.
No.
No.
Here it's from Anya. So the word Anya, like Panya.
Knowing.
Yeah, it means knowing. It's specifically the knowing of like an arahant. It's called Anya. So Anyataro are the plural, those who know the Dhamma.
So there will be those who know. There will be those who recognize the Dhamma,
right,
who understand the
Dhamma. They will know the Dhamma. Yeah.
Okay. Apicha bhikkave channang vassanang acchayena bandhumati rajadani upasamkamitabba pāṭimokkha. So and apicha, and then we bhikkhus 6. So channang vassanang, after 6 vassas, we will.
Acchayena means after the passing of.
After the passing of 6 vassas, we are going to meet, and the Pāṭimokkha will be recited.
Bandhumati Rajadhani, I think, is the place, is the name of the area of the town.
Uddesati.
Yes. So they should come to this place, Bandhumati Rajadhani. You should approach it for the purpose of Uddesaya. Uddesa is the recitation. Uddesaya means for the purpose, is a dative. For the purpose of Uddesa, for the purpose of recitation.
Yes, the ya makes it the dative.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so he gives them the instruction. You should come back. You should come, and we will meet at this place after 6 years. And so we explain about the Magha Puja that the arahants didn't have telephones and didn't have WhatsApp.
Yes.
But in this case, they did have WhatsApp. It was called Mahabrahma.
The Divine Messenger, not Facebook Messenger.
That's right, the Divine Messengers, the Devas hear them, and the Mahabrahma tells them that oh, I will remind the arahants every year. And so in the suttas, every year the devas raise a cry that 1 year has passed, 5 years remain, you will have to go to this place to listen to the recitation. And I think this is I think a great place where this way of telling the stories through devas is highlighting more of one's conscience. That your conscience is hovering over your head, telling you every day, every year that this we have already passed 1 year, and I have to remember that there will be 5 more to come. And after 5 years, the divine forces that are governing my behavior, like your conscience, your conscience, tells you that now I have to go.
Yeah.
Like this is often how you can
psychological interpretation.
Yeah. That's right.
If you don't want to take it literally.
But maybe the devas were raising the trumpets and saying that after 6 vassa, chasu vassesu nikantesu, after 6 vassa has gone, the devata saddha manusavesung, they raise the cry, like we chant in the Dhammacakkappavattana. Nikkantani ko marisacha vassani samayodani. So have the 6 vassas have gone. Samayodani, now is the time. The time is samayo.
I think it's from idani.
And it is now.
Now means idani.
Now is the time. And so the bhikkhus meet and at that time the Buddha Vipassī, the Blessed One Vipassī Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho, to the Bhikkhu Sangha.
I think in the Bhikkhu Sangha, literally.
That's right, this is located.
But, yeah.
So Vipassī Bhagava, so he who is an Arahant, Samma Sambuddha, in the Bhikkhu Sangha, this Pāṭimokkha, he recites. And so now Venerable Atanyu, can I ask you to read the first line?
Anti paramang tapo nitika Nibbānang paramang vadanti Buddha.
Thank you. To hear, you have all memorized the meaning, so it's easy to.
So Kanti patience.
That's right.
Paramang is highest.
Correct.
Tapo is like austerities.
Yes.
Yeah. And titika is endurance.
That's right, and this is all nominative here. What is worth pointing out here is that paramang, so it's the highest austerity. Patience. So it's a very compressed sentence. So it says Kanti, patience is a tapo. So Kanti is tapo, and it's an austerity which is the highest. Right, and then there could be a semicolon here, and titika, it's an endurance, it's a forbearance, and the titika refers to this previous clause, basically, that this austerity is a forbearance. So Nibbānang paramang vadanti Buddha. Ajahn Kongrit, can you please translate this line for us?
Nibbāna is paramang vadanti. Nibbāna is the high the ultimate vadanti from the Buddha.
So the Buddhas are saying that Nibbana is the highest. Nibbanam paramam. These are, what case is this Ajanga Visako?
I think it's again very compressed and it's poetry. So the Buddha say, vadanti, the Buddhas are saying, Nibbanam paramam, that Nibbana is the highest. But normally you would expect, because it's a quote, that there will be a ti at the end, like Nibbanam paramam ti. But then it doesn't fit the meter, I think, so it's dropped, So the quote should be Nibbanam paramam. Nibbana is the highest.
Yes, but these are nominatives, no?
Yes, it's just, that's how you say, and it's the easiest way to say, this thing is that thing.
Yes.
They are the same.
Nibbanam paramam.
Nibbana is the highest.
Okay, so then Ajahn Titapanyo, please continue.
Nahi pabajito paru pagati. Let's see. Not, I forgot what he means. But not a pabajita, not like a renunciate, is one who harms others.
That's right. He is just an emphatic. So
okay.
It's usually used to fill out the meter. So not he, just means not. So not pabajito. It's not one who gone, not renunciate, but the way we translate it, but usually it's one who is gone forth. Right? Not pabajito. And parupagati is the upagata.
Hurts, harms, and harms para, upa. Para, the others, who doesn't harm others. Yeah.
That's right.
So it's a pabajito parupagati means, it's not a verb, this is an adjective. Yeah, the pabajita is somebody who can be called na parupagati. He is not a other harmer, if you would call it. Yeah, meaning harming others. And ghati, the e ending is just a nominative case of a noun. It's a noun. Yeah.
That's right. So not trying to draw an arrow. So not pabajito.
So he is not like this one who is a harmer of other people, of other beings.
Ricardo, can you read the next one, please?
Na samano hoti parang vihetayanto.
So here it's not a samana. Hoti is the verb. Not a samana is another who harasses or accuses another.
You notice that we dropped the na in our chanting, so there must be a version where the second na, we only chant samano hoti parang vihetayanto. The na is not in our chanting book. Yeah, because I think what we take it as, there must be some version where the second na is dropped, because you take the na at the beginning to apply to both of the verbs. You know this? Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Of course. Nahi pabajito parupagati samano hoti parang vihetayanto.
Thank you. That didn't drop.
So there must be two versions of the text, Yeah, because you can take it like this. You can take that the na applies to two verbs. Yeah.
Okay, so that's one verse here.
Yeah.
Then so sabapapassa akaranam kusala supasampada. And so here all the sabba, all that is evil should not be done.
The not doing of all that is evil.
Right.
And
So
it's a
here-
genitive form.
Here it's basically akusala.
Yeah.
All that is unwholesome, you should not. It's
The non-doing
Non-doing.
of all evil.
yes, because he's going to say this is the Buddha's teaching, and
Right,
so
it has to be.
the non-doing of all evil is the Buddha's teaching.
Right.
The undertaking upasampada is
Interesting.
is an undertaking, right?
Yeah.
The undertaking or engaging in
Okay, yeah.
the engaging in all that is skillful is the Buddha's teaching, and sacitta pariyodapanam is the Buddha's teaching.
Yeah.
And so the way we make sense of this is that sa citta pariyodapanam is that the purifying, pariyodapana, refining, cleansing the mind. So here
One's own mind, one's own sa-citta is like sa means one's own sa-citta.
so your own mind you should purify. So we discussed this a little while earlier. So there's 3 instructions here, right, in sequence, and the first 2 is, it goes, the sequence goes into more and more refined practices. Is that first is the avoiding what is really harmful, right? You're stopping the evil, harmful, unwholesome actions. And then you cultivate virtue, sila, you cultivate wholesome mental qualities. But all this is all this has to still do with worldly activities.
Yeah.
So this is sometimes the way in Majjhima Nikaya 117, I think. This is a type. He says that right view is twofold. That there is right view is with affluence, with asava, sa asava, that is still involved with grasping signs, you're grasping virtuous activities, you're holding on to things that you're committed to doing good. Like this is still
Yeah, they call it lokiya kusala. I think the
that's
worldly
right,
level.
worldly good. So this is mundane right view at that point.
Right.
And then supramundane right view is anasava, is without those inflows, and that's where the this is what sacitta pariyodapanam refers to, is that this is when the right view is supramundane. It's not connected to making merit or demerit. It is to do with letting go of the grasping of signs. And let me see if I can find this quote here for. That's right. So that's Majjhima Nikaya 117. Sammaditting payangdavayang vadami. So right view is twofold. There's asava, that has to do with cultivating merit, and there is sammaditi ariya anasava, lokuttara maganga, and there is right view that is above the world, way beyond lokuttara, which is not connected to the asavas.
Can you post in the chat box too, please?
Right now, I'll send you links later, or
It's good to know where the lokuttara is mentioned in the sutta section. This is one of the few places.
yes, and so so here there's and in so with regarding to sacitta pariyodapanam, what is the mind purified of? It's purified. It's going from asava to anasava. it's purified of these signs, inflows, these grasping. And so this directly connects to with the cultivation of the mind of the arahant. So this is where we discuss, why is it important to discuss the mind of the arahant? Is because we're describing what is a mind that is without inflows. I think looking for. I said, yes, that's right. There's a sutta here. In the Pindula Sutta, this verse also comes up, the Anupavado, Anupagato, and the Blessed One sees the Venerable Bharadvaja Pindula Bharadvajo. He sees him meditating, and he praises him how well he's doing, how good to see him to be cultivating the mind. And so he connects Adicitta, he's dedicating to the higher mind, and to Sacitta Pariyodapanang. He is purifying. This is in the. No, okay, I'm mixing that up. Yes, that will be. Yes, so Sacitta Pariyodapanang will be in the. This is in the commentary to the Dīghanakhasutta 14, Mahāpadānasutta, is where the commentator describes the purifying of the mind, that he makes it like an arahant's. You're striving towards that state of mind that is like an arahant's mind. Venerable Titapanyo, can you continue reading, please?
So, every Anupavado, Anupagato, Patimokkha, Chasangwaro.
Please translate.
Not to insult, not to injure, restraint in the Pāṭimokkha.
So the way to recognize these, that this is so Anupavado, like from Vadati, Anupavadati, so not saying nasty things.
Upavadati is to say, Upavadati is to say something bad.
That's right. So
bad mouthing.
One who is Gata is hitting.
Hitting or even killing.
Hitting or killing. So this is verbal abuse, and this is physical abuse. So one who is not engaged in verbal or physical abuse, and in the Pāṭimokkha there should be restraint.
Again, it's a locative.
That's right, it's locative. Pāṭimokkha cha samvaro. Mattanyuta cha battasaming. So mattanyuta is literally knowing the right measure.
Yeah.
So from you recognize that would be sanya is the.
So from janati to know, which and then it becomes the jnana, mattanyuta. Matta meaning the right measure, the right amount. Yeah.
So knowing the right measure in rice.
Matta Cha. It can be just food.
Yes,
meal
it just means
in the meal. It's another locative in one's meal.
in rice.
Yeah.
That's right. Knowing the right measure in your food, in what is nourishment, right? And so patancha sayanasanam, pantancha sayanasanam.
I think you should have the apostrophe after the nya. Pantancha, because it's pan. So sayanasanam, sayanasana, which is pantang senasanam basically, but then the m changes into nya because it's followed by the cha. Yeah, that's it. Pantang cha sayanasanam. We say senasana for lodging, but it's actually composed of two things: sayana, meaning sleeping, and asana, which means sitting, like a place for sleeping and sitting. So here it's in the original form sayanasana, but often it's contracted to just senasana.
So yeah, that's right. So it's sayana.
Sayana and asana. That's right.
Asana. So secluded
Place to
dwelling place.
dwelling place. Yeah.
Secluded lying down place.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, lying down and sitting.
Lying and sitting. And so adicitte cha ayogo etang buddhana sasananti. So again, the highest instruction at the end. So adicitte cha ayogo. Ayogo is holding onto, connecting to, attached to, in the sense of devoted pursuit. You know, it's like locking onto a target and going for it, applying oneself to. So in this sense, you know, we translate it as devoted to. But it takes locative. So devoted in something. And so that's why adicitta is adicitte, devoted in the higher mind. And so higher mind here, this term, I try to find the different ways this is used. And there's a place in the Anguttara where these three terms are defined. So they come together as adisila, adicitta, adipanya, and
It's not the genitive.
In that context, it usually describes different aspects of the training, and the definition of the adicitta is the 4 jhanas. In other cases, like I want to paste the 389. In other cases, adicitta is suggestive of effort in meditation, so that the Buddha uses, like I brought up the other time here with Venerable Pindula, who is sitting in meditation, and the Buddha is praising him that he is diligently applying the mind. There is another case with Venerable Udayan, who is who can't answer a question to the Buddha. The Buddha keep asking him what are the suitable ways of reflecting, what are the topics of reflection, and he can't properly answer. And the Buddha says, "Oh yes, it's Venerable Udayan. I knew that he's not dedicated to the higher mind." Meaning he doesn't meditate. He doesn't cultivate the mind. And so this term is to do with that type of effort. But there's also in the commentary to this sutta, to the Pindula Sutta, the commentary defines adicitte specifically with the effort to realize arahata-pāla, the fruit of arahantship. And so this is like, you know, these are levels of instruction.
Yeah.
With sutta for this one.
This is in the commentary to the
Samatha Vipassana Bhavana.
to the Pindula Sutta.
It's the Bhavana mais avas.
So Pindula Sutta Vanana.
Pindula Sutta is in the Udana. It's describing the arahant Pindola Bharadvaja, who is sitting, and he's a Dutanga monk.
So that was the yes, but this is not in the sutta. This is in the commentary to the sutta. And so the explanation of the commentary to that term is that it's the, you know, all chittas that are made, the highest type of chitta is the arahata-pāla citte, right? It's the mind state, the state of the mind that has realized the fruit of arahantship. And so that's why he connects adicitte, you know, what is, if you have regular mind and higher mind, then the higher mind has to mean the great attainment. And so this is the samatha vipassana bhavana savina ayugo, that he's dedicated to developing that samatha vipassana, which culminates in the realizing of that fruit.
That's it.
That was very satisfying, I feel.
Bhattas is rice.
Again?
Bhattas means rice.
So bhatta is rice, and bhattasmin is in rice, literally. But it's really, bhatta usually refers to all kinds of food. So it's all kinds of nourishment, all kinds of food.
Because it would be very easy to memorize that word as being rice. Because we just changed the M's and the T's, and we got basmati almost.
Okay,
Basmati.
Maybe.
So it's easy to memorize.
That's right. So you're saying
It's almost.
That's only
Bhattas
interpretation.
basmati.
It's just
I'm
your
sorry.
meal, regular meal.
I'm sorry. I'm tired.
I
It's sitting at midnight.
okay. Do you have any comments that you would like to add here? Otherwise, I think it was a pretty good reading. We got through a lot of text.
Next time you
Thank
can
you.
tell a different story at Maga Puja.
That's right. I thought it was good to find out where things come from, but
So the Buddha did give the Ovāda-pāṭimokkha to arahants, but it wasn't spontaneous. And it wasn't
right.
one.
So in this case, there are arahants, there is a gathering, there's an Ovāda-pāṭimokkha, but it's not a spontaneous gathering, and the exact number is not mentioned. So it's like, if you put in the number from the other sutta and you add the spontaneous gathering, then you get the complete story. But you know, I feel it's a good how to say.
I mean,
There are worse mistakes that popular Buddhism stories have made, so I don't particularly feel.
But can you say that it did not happen, like maybe it all happened at the same Maga full moon, but not in the same year, or I don't know. Are the three stories, do they mention when it happened or not? One mentions.
Well, one is Venerable Ananda asking
Alright.
a question
Yeah.
at Veluvana.
Right. So that's the location is there.
Then that's right. That's where the location is known.
Right.
Otherwise, here it's a different location for Buddha Vipassī,
Right. That's
right,
not
and a
mentioned.
completely different context.
Right. Yeah.
but the Buddha in the Dhammapada commentary is talking about Buddha Vipassī's uposatha, meaning that he held it at different years. Like here he says, 6 years. That after 6 years have gone, maybe that's how the 7th year would be counted, because he said Vipassī had every 7 years.
Yes.
But it says, I think they are all good.
Because there is this thing of in the story of the Buddha, there was this yasa, and then there were the 60 arahants, like in the first year or after the first year, and then the Buddha sends them out to teach. So I think what often happens is that something that is described about a previous Buddha, like Vipassī, the same event is mapped onto the current Buddha, like the going out of the city, in the
so the same formula is also used. Like if the same kind of thing happens with the Buddha, then he sends the 60 arahant disciples to go, wander in the countryside. No two should take the same path. Then they would use the standardized formula to describe the same event.
So that's why I think these things became kind of merged, and then this kind of story came out of that it all happened like that. But whatever, however it happened, it's a nice story.
So if you don't have any other comments, then I think